Well, we've made it over to the cathedral finally. We've been kind of sat around shooting some time lapses, talking about video editing and stuff, drinking coffee.
Putting the world to rights, you know?
Yeah, putting the world to rights. So we're going to have a look around this historic cathedral now, like sort of one of my favourite parts of Coventry from the last time I came.
Yeah, it is pretty
We'll give you a little bit of a tour. Apparently you can climb the tower. Can we climb the tower?
Yeah, man.
You down with that?
Well, as long as there's an oxygen tank at the top for me, it's all good. In 1995, 50 years after the end of the Second World War, Josefino de Vasconcelos, this was given by Richard Branson as like a token of reconciliation. Like there's an authentic sculptural version of it in the Peace Garden in Hiroshima in Japan, and it's supposed to show people sort of coming together in the face of like disasters and stuff, human love triumphing over that. And you can see it's also got Japanese writing on it and English writing together, so that's pretty cool.
There we are. So we're in Coventry Cathedral now. Really, really interesting place. We've been reading the information boards and having a look at some of the architecture and some of the like more modern pieces that were in here. But basically, the sort of essential history of it is in 1940, in November, during the Second World War, Luftwaffe flew over Coventry and dropped 500 tons of explosives.
Yeah, I mean, there was like landmines, stuff like that.
Yeah, like dropping landmines out of the sky. Like you can't even imagine the chaos of it. And there's like the accounts of what's happened. Like it sounds like absolute madness. Like, I genuinely can't like wrap my brain around like what it must have been like. So there's like a story of like boiling butter coming down the street and this guy having to run away because there was a nearby dairy on fire.
Yeah,
you found the tram one, didn't you?
Yeah, there's a story about a tram getting blown clean over a house and into the gardens beyond, like landing with its windows intact just from the force of an explosion. Like I say, you can't. It almost sounds fictional because like we can't sort of imagine it, but obviously we know this sort of stuff did happen. But as well as the obviously the horror of it, there's aspects where after this had all happened, the people who worked here said that the first thing they wanted to do is after the war was finished, they wanted to work with people who'd been sort of previously enemies to like rebuild a better world. There was accounts of a couple of wooden beams that fell, which are just sort of over there as we look at them now, and they fell in the shape of a cross. They were sort of bound together and put on the side of the ruined altar, and someone wrote, "Father, forgive." And the whole thing, it became a sort of sense of a reconciliation rather than thinking about getting revenge or like getting back against it. And I think that's like a real triumph of the human spirit, to like people pulling together when all this like horror was going on and saying, yeah, but instead of like just trying to spread that and make even like more horror and escalate it, let's try and like learn some lessons from it and actually sort of make something better as a result. I think, to be honest, we could all do with a bit of that today, to be honest.
So we're going to go for the tower climb now, John.
This may be the last you see of me.
John's looking forward to it. Portly gent.
Says the man who's bought like a stick of clotted cream fudge on the way up.
So yeah, we're going to climb and hopefully not get in everybody's way. Okay, this is the way up. There we go. Oh, it's cold in here. You'll be alright, mate. They're not steep at all, these steps. Oh!
He says it's evenly trips. And did they have narrower feet back in the Mackie day? Because these steps are a bit narrow. It's like having a fit without the fun bits. It's quite close in, can I zoom out?
No, you can't, fortunately. Ooh, a bit near the top actually, it's getting a bit green. Oh, that's because there's a window. We're over halfway up now, I reckon.
Oh, I hope so.
So we're in like the bell viewing gallery, which is so the bells are down there. That's quite cool, isn't it? It's very looking at the landscape. It's easy to see see how these would have been like, you'd be able to see this from like miles away, way back, because this would have been like the tallest thing. It's huge, isn't it?
The whole idea with like this sort of like architecture originally, like the religious architecture, was it was supposed to be sort of like reaching up towards heaven, wasn't it? So it was nearer to God than like all the landscape around. Like, so if you think about before we had skyscrapers and stuff like that, when all the buildings would have been like 1, maybe 2 stories if you're lucky. As someone used to that sort of thing, looking up at these sort of things stretching up into the sky, you could believe that, like, yeah, this place is like the nearest to heaven I'm going to get on earth.
It's not just that for me, like, as well, like, from the distance, like, you'd be able to see like the city now, like the sprawling city, but like back in the medieval times, like when they were built, it was like the whole surrounding landscape would have just been like farmland and forest. So from a distance, this is what you'd be able to see, this tower and like nothing else.
Yeah, well, they were very much built to sort of like dominate the landscape.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, so I think about heading back down. I think it's a bit breezy and chilly up here, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit.
Hopefully the way down will be a bit easier than the way up.
I don't think it's going to be that much harder.
There we go, that's the bottom. Oh, well, that was interesting. That was good, I enjoyed that. That was an actual experience. When people talk about experiences, that was one of them.
Yeah.
That was fun, wasn't it?
It was good actually, the view was spectacular.
Absolutely incredible.
Let's go and give our tokens back in.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh. Just got to remember where I actually put the tokens. Where? Cheers, thank you. Let's get some food. Interesting little day out, that wasn't it?
It's a mini adventure, wasn't it?
Mini adventure. Remember them adverts?
Yeah.
Is that why you said it?
Yeah. You show my age a bit.
Now we are going to go to the AGM for our LARP, faction thing, where we discuss what's going on. So some of you probably won't even know what that is just yet, but after we've done the AGM, I'll do like a little segment where we explain it.
Yeah, we'll break it down for you a bit.
We're late for the meeting. Oh, oops. Okay, probably not going to be allowed to record this. Bye.
The issue with this is some stuff, there is some hooks. Things on the top table.
Seat to armour quality. Back in the hotel room, and we need to get changed for this evening's festivities, which means that both myself and John over here need to both put on matching sets of plate mail armour.
We've been to boots, we're going to get suited and booted.
Let's do this. Alright, so before we set off, a quick little segment about what LARP is. So as you can see, it involves some dressing up. I'm actually going to probably let John explain some of this because he's better at this, and I'm challenging him to try and explain what LARP is in under a minute, and then I'll explain what we are within that.
Okay, so LARP, effectively, it's a game, a fantasy game, rather like Dungeons and Dragons, which is something everyone's familiar with. You adopt the persona of a hero trying to overcome various obstacles. The difference between a tabletop RPG and like D&D and a LARP is that when you're playing a LARP, you dress as your character and you actually act out that story in accordance with the rules of whatever system you're following. Instead of rolling dice, you actually like swing foam weapons, etc. It's one of those weird hobbies that looks a bit strange when you're watching it from the outside, but it involves a lot of different disciplines like making costumes, etc. And also the sort of physical side of it, like I say, it doesn't look too great from the outside, but it's very enjoyable when you're participating.
Very nice. Very nicely done. So, people are bound to ask, what are our characters? So for a change, like we usually play like dirty, horrible little scumbags. But with the characters we're currently playing, we're like kind of, think old English knights who are following like the ancient Greek gods. So it's like, you know, mixing two different bits of history to create the mythology, and we're super polite. My character barely speaks, very quiet, very much in the background, but we are through and through good. There is no dark side to us, and it's quite interesting to play that, because most people who like do role play, when they play a good character, there's always like a darker side to them, and it's quite fun to play this because we have none of that. So my character's name is Cygnus. We're all named after the constellations in the sky. I won't give you too much detail, but you are...
And I'm playing Capricorn, who's a slightly older, sort of like older campaigner, who's now like in his old age. He's like, his mind's started to go a little bit. He's not quite the man he was, but he's still, you know, his heart's still in the right place, and he's trying to help out the sort of younger generation, as represented by Foz.
I'm probably not going to film anything or very much at all during there, because having like a big modern camera in there is just going to ruin the feel of the event. We've got to get moving now, so I'll try and shoot maybe like a couple of little bits during the evening if I get a chance. If not, we'll see you back at the hotel in a little while. I am very much looking forward to like waltzing through town dressed like this, though. I'm definitely going to try and get some of that on camera. Right, we'll see you out there. Back in the hotel.
Yep.
Solid night, bit of a slow one. It's like the slowest event of the year, but as the vlog goes on, you'll see more about Larp, because most of the events are like 4 days long, so they're going to be included in this.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, it was a bit slow, but it's a social, so it's not like a big campaign event, so there's less fighting, it's more sort of talky and relaxed.
Yeah, but it was good. I enjoyed myself, but thankfully didn't finish too late. We've now got to de-armour, pack everything back in the bags, haul over to the car park, dump the stuff in the car, because in the morning we're up mega early. Like, we're not even gonna have a chance for breakfast, I don't think, because I've got to get to work for like 9 o'clock, 9:30, and take John home as well. So I think that's going to be calling it for night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.